Hi everybody, this is Tanks for the Mammeries, and today we're playing Armored Warfare. It's been a while, I've missed you guys. I apologize for being away for so long. As you all know, I moved recently, and with that was the actual move and the unpacking and setting up of the house, and then immediately after that, I had my kids come for the summer, and so I had three kids here and all of their teenage angst, and a new city to look at and places to go and things to do and stuff to try and tourist traps to get stuck in and food to eat and all that sort of stuff, birthdays to have. So we were really busy with all that, and so I did not have the opportunity to get any gameplay in, and certainly not any videos, and I apologize to all of you for that, and I appreciate your patience. So this week I'm going to try and get 3 videos out, and I hope I get them out better than I just took that shot which derped into the dirt in front of that target. And the first of the videos I'm going to try and get out this week is this one on a vehicle which was recently introduced as a collector's edition vehicle into Armored Warfare in one of the recent patches. It's the Challenger 1 Falcon. And this video today is going to be a 2-battle video talking about not only the stats and interesting bits about the Falcon 1 Challenger, but also sort of some of my general impressions about the vehicle as well as what I do with it. So without further ado, while this battle is taking place, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit about this vehicle. And so you guys are aware, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, a place that I've been to, which is a very beautiful place and pretty much a model of stability in the Middle East up until this latest round of fighting and things like that. The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan has been a purchaser, oops, I missed that guy, a purchaser of British and American military kit for many, many years. And during the last, I don't know, 30 or 40 years or so, the Jordanians have purchased a tremendous number of British main battle tanks. And that goes all the way back to the Centurion, the Chieftain, and then the Challenger 1 and Challenger 2. And, you know, they've tried to keep up their vehicles, do the modernization to them. They've purchased from the British a number of other, you know, upgrade kits and things like that. But along the way, they decided that one thing that they wanted to give a try was to change out the turret, not just on the Challenger 1, which is the vehicle that's denoted here in this video, but also the M60A3, the Khalid, which is known as the Chieftain, and the Tariq, which is the Centurion. They wanted to change all of those tanks out with, or at least the turrets out, with another type of turret, which is the one that's shown here in this video. The Falcon turret was indigenously designed by the King Abdullah II's Design and Development Bureau, which is the KADDB, in close partnership with the Mechanology Design Bureau and IST Dynamics of South Africa. It uses some British and Swiss subsystems, and the turret was first revealed to the public in 2003. Obviously, the intended platform for this turret is the Jordanian Al-Hussein or Challenger 1 main battle tank. It also can be fitted to the Tariq, which is the Centurion, the M60A3, and the Khalid, which is the Chieftain main battle tank. It is also available for export to other customers. So they decided to go with something that required a little less crew, had a little more protection, and a lower silhouette. And as you can see from looking at the vehicle here, it's got the barrel, breech, and gun mechanism are in the narrow front bit there, and the autoloading system and ammunition bustle rack are located in sort of the fatter rear part of the turret there. So basically, the Falcon is a low-volume, reduced silhouette turret. It incorporates a Swiss RUAG Defense Systems 120mm L50 smoothbore gun, which is fitted with an autoloader. This gun is capable of firing all types of NATO 120mm tank ammunition. It is, in testing, superior to the British L11 120mm rifled gun, which is fitted on the Centurion 1 in this game. The maximum rate of fire of this gun is 8 rounds per minute, which we can do a bit better than that in the game here, or close to it anyway. And up to 17 rounds can be stowed in the auto-loading system. The loading mechanism and ready-to-use ammunition are separated from the crew, and the turret bustle is fitted with blowout panels. Additional rounds can be fitted in the hull, and as you can see here, looking at the back of my tank, there's 3 hatch panels on the top there. Those are the blowout panels for the ammunition, so if it does take an ammo rack hit, the ammunition does not blow out into the crew compartment, it blows up and out into the air, adding to the survivability of the vehicle. The crew is now 2 instead of the usual loader, gunner, driver, and commander, because you've got the auto-loading system. Look, I totally derped that. I don't know how I missed those things, because I was, 10 feet away from them, and I missed them. So I've got to reload before I can blow up the ammo there. There we go. Anyway, Sapphire is a good map, and it's a good map for this kind of vehicle. You know, this is not the fastest reload in the world on a main battle tank, but it's a decent gun, does good damage. It's very comparable to the other same tier tank which it's based on, which is the Challenger 1, and you know, offers good damage, good penetration, actually better penetration, and I think better damage than the Challenger 1, which we'll check out in a bit. You know, and the turret is certainly more survivable, so if you can get hull down or behind a rock or something and just leave your turret exposed, you're going to do very, very well. And the accuracy probably isn't quite as good, but it's got a decent reload, decent damage, and I did actually, I think, run out of ammunition in this thing, or get close to running out. But anyway, so the secondary armament, which does not matter, there's a whole lot of enemy tanks there, so I decided to get behind this building and sort of keep hull down. But the secondary armament in the turret on this Falcon turret is a 7.62 millimeter coaxial machine gun. The turret is also fitted with the latest generation thermal imaging, surveillance, navigation, fire control systems, which again in this game don't really matter much. That's just real life. Going after the ammo rack on that vehicle. Remote operation of the turret enables full under armor protection for crew members. The overall protection level is improved by reduced vehicle profile. The front of the turret is reinforced with composite armor, and interestingly, the Falcon turret has built-in modular armor, which means that modules can be replaced when damaged or when more advanced armor is available. The turret is also fitted with an automatic fire suppression and NBC protection system. So again, in the game, those don't really matter to us, but in real life, that was what the prototype had available. The Falcon turret is also in real life fitted with an auxiliary power unit, which is based on a small diesel engine. It allows the crew to run all of the vehicle systems without keeping the engine running, which saves on fuel and increases the vehicle range. So if they want to have it hauled down at night, parked up somewhere, and use the thermal sights and the imaging systems and the radios and all that sort of stuff, they don't have to leave the tank running or turn it off and be worried about, you know, running down the batteries. They can actually crank up the auxiliary power unit, the APU, and use that to run all the systems on board the vehicle without using the engine. So a lot of modern tanks are having those APU systems installed. It just sort of makes sense. And the Falcon has that in the turret system there, or in the turret. So the initial variant, known as the Falcon 1, was also known as AB9C4. An improved variant was called the Falcon 2, which is AB9C5. And apparently the Falcon 3 turret is currently under development. I don't know how accurate that information is. I don't know if it's old or not, but that's what I was able to find out. Supposedly the Falcon 3 will be fitted with a new improved autoloader, which will also accommodate more ready ammunition. So instead of 17 rounds, it'll be able to carry more than that. So anyway, that's what I've been able to find out about it. In the game, obviously, it's quite a nice vehicle. I wanted to see how it compared to the Challenger 1, And, because my thought was, well, if it has less turret, it's probably going to be lighter, which means it ought to be a little bit faster. It's actually not faster. Um, the gun is good, and I think that the damage is satisfactory and the accuracy is okay. It's not 100%, but it's good. Um, the armor is still really good on this vehicle. I'm been tracked, and I hate those fucking things, but I'm not going to concentrate on him. I'm going to concentrate on this the light tank here, who has decided to ignore me, but I'm going to concentrate on him instead of the Ramka, so I can go ahead and take out the more dangerous gun. Now we can concentrate on this guy who's decided to fire at somebody else. Anyway, I like the gun. I like the tank. It is a slugger, as per British tanks, British main battle tanks, and the Jordanian turret's pretty cool looking, and I can't really say anything bad about it. It's not markedly different than I think it hit the track. I thought I derped it into the dirt. Anyway, it's not you see, I've taken a lot of damage to the turret there, but nothing to pretty much anything else on the vehicle except the tracks. It's the smoothbore gun versus the rifled gun versus the one that comes on the regular British vehicle. I don't think this game has enough accuracy modeling to denote specific differences in the characteristics of the gun, other than to say the accuracy is a bit different from one to the other, and the penetration values are a bit different. And I'm not sure that on the L50 versus this gun that I'd really make that much of a noticeable difference. But, whatever. That damaged the module, but it still ricocheted. I've noticed with this, though, I will say that I've noticed with this vehicle that even when I'm getting a penetration marker on the HUD, when I go to aim at something, these guns, these 120s, do not actually penetrate reliably according to... I'm going to get tracked here in a second, which bums me out. And that hurt. Really what I was trying to do was get these guys to start shooting at me, so those guys on both the cap and on the hill back there could fire into the rear engine compartment, so we could go ahead and win this game. So I had the most health out of anybody on the team, and that's what my thought was. So we ended up winning it. Anyway, that's this first battle and my initial sort of overview of the history of the vehicle. And this was my first win of the day in this vehicle, and so that's why I have all that massive amount of reputation. So you can see it's actually a pretty decent. I mean, I didn't get as many kills as the other guy, but I still had 21,000 something damage there, and ended up with a pretty decent score. I was pleased with that for really one of the first times taking this vehicle out. I did miss a few shots there. Some of those were in the beginning. I don't know what happened to the first two shots that I took there, but all in all, pretty decent damage all the way through. I was pleased with that. And, anytime you're getting over 10,000 or 15,000 is a pretty darn good game. And obviously the other guy, and frankly, most of that is because the other players on my team are dead. So if you've got like a real bruiser of a tank, something that's just cutthroat, cat fight, pipe hitting kind of tank that's always in your face, and the rest of your team dies, you were going to end up with these monster scores. I mean, there's another game I played it in, and one of my teammates had 30,000 damage done. And, that's just because everybody else on your team is dead, and you got to carry. So if it comes down to the last sort of two waves of vehicles, and you're one of the few people alive, you're going to have these kind of massive scores. Anyway, so that was the first victory in this tank, and I liked it. So we decided to move on to Direwolf, which is, also not a hugely open map because you've got this giant castle in the middle. But we are in the battle with the Challenger 1, and this tank has got some decent gun depression, and I'm going to try and use it a little bit here. I do make a mistake and get kind of caught behind a rock for a few minutes there and kind of screw things up, but, you know, whatever, you'll see. Anyway, this is my very next battle in the same vehicle, and they've changed this map a little bit, which I like, and we're gonna face off against, you know, the same teeming swarms of AI, but you know, this tank, it doesn't have the get up and go like some other vehicles do. It does feel ponderous still, even though that they probably lost, I don't know, a couple of tons in weight from the turret alone. But I don't feel like I can't take a hit or two, and that's one thing I do like about the British tanks is you feel like you're behind Westminster Abbey's worth of armor, um, which is fun, you know, because you do feel like you can get out there and actually just slug it out with people. I'm trying to find that guy. I'm not going to be able to hit him. I can hit that guy, though. And I miss, of course. I miss. Even though the supposed to be the vaunted high-quality 120mm guns. Anyway, they miss, though, so I'm going to start putting some shots in that guy's engine. Anyway, you know, I do actually like this tank, and the reload's okay. The damage is okay. It's not a T-14 Armada, but it's okay. And you know, you don't feel like you've got to pussyfoot around with enemy vehicles. I do like the turret. It does seem to not attract as much damage from enemy shells as the regular turret does. And it's got, as I said, some decent gun depression. There's a big rock there. I was hoping I'd be able to get a shot in on those guys, but I'm not going to waste the round. Yeah, I've figured out a lot here that a good chunk of how to do well in this game is make your shots count. And I need to pay more attention to that. I need to stop shooting at those Ramkas because I fucking hate those things, but they don't get any damage from them. So instead, I need to just not worry about them shooting me and shoot the tanks instead. So I've been getting better at that, but I wanted to get a little more hull down so I wasn't sticking my entire front chin out there when all these enemy tanks showed up. It wasn't really working because I'm still kind of on the hill angle, but they're not really paying attention to me. So by the time that I got myself organized and what I felt was secure, everybody was pretty much dead. So there is that. Anyway, decent tank. You know, I like this, and I felt like the first game I turned in a pretty good game. The second one here is going okay. You know, I'm not on the front lines, but I'm certainly putting my gun to good use, and trying to spend more time making sure I am shooting things that actually matter and causing damage, rather than derping into the dirt, which I'm still doing a lot of regularity, but whatever. So they changed this map a little bit from the last time I played it. I thought this was a road that kept going over, and so even though I hit that fucking huge boulder, and it's not. So I spent a couple of minutes thinking I could get shots in on these guys, wasting time doing that, looking stupid, and decide I want to try and back out. No, fuck, am I stuck? Am I stuck? Am I stuck? Am I stuck? Ah, there we go. Okay. So I was able to get out. But I wasted a lot of time and let some bad guys get killed without me because I don't know what I'm doing. So, boom. Down to the bottom. Everybody's pretty much already dead. And I'll take my frustrations out on that little red car. And I think these guys are in line of sight, but they're not. They're below that ridge line. So, rather than sit around there, I'll go ahead and try and move up, but they're going to be dead before I can really get to them, except for this guy, which I will kill right in front of me. And I like that sizzle. That sizzle's great. So I should be able to get a shot in on this guy, and it's going to bounce because I hit a turret, which is what, 4mm thick. I hit a turret on the top at an angle, and it still fucking bounced. 120mm shell bounces on a 45mm thick turret. That's bullshit. Anyway, happens a lot. They got to fix the so artillery's shooting at me, and I love when artillery does that. I think Obsidian needs to fix the whole shooting down from above into the tops of turrets and tank decks, because more shit bounces weirdly when you do that than any right to expect. Um, I gotta say, if you're firing a 120 millimeter tank shell Sabo round into, ooh, that hurt, into the top of a light tank's turret, if you dropped the round from 5 feet overhead, it would go through, much less firing the round at less than a quarter mile away. So this ricochet bullshit, they've got to fix the angling of that stuff. I'm trying to get a shot into this guy without exposing myself too much, but I don't really have it. So I'm going to let those two guys dick around with the two tanks that are back there, and I'm going to go ahead and make my way around to the next objective, which has already started, knowing that the enemy's going to be there, and I want to make sure that our guys are not overwhelmed when they rush the final cap. So this is where you'll see me testing out the gun depression. I wasn't, when I first was doing this, I was like, it's 8-9%, whatever, it'll be okay. And I thought, well, I'm going to get up on this hill and see how good it really is. And let the guys down in front take all the attention to the bad guys, and let me go ahead and just do my shooting from up here. And I'm trying to light these fuckers on fire, and they don't seem to be lighting on fire. But decent. I totally missed him there. Trying to go for the ammunition rack, and I just missed him. But it's a decent depression on the gun, and relatively good gun handling. Most of this, where it screwed up, was my fault, not the gun's fault. There was 1 or 2 shots, and that's basically the rest of it's my fault. 1 or 2 shots for the gun. And use this little bit of hill there to help me angle down. Not quite enough reload speed to get those guys when they come around that side, but I can get them when they come around this side. And there's a good hit there. Killed some crewmen. And let's see if we can get this guy. Yep. And there's that guy. So anyway, that's kind of my impression on the Challenger 1 Falcon. This game is pretty much all over. I'm going to get to the stats at the end of this. I do want to let you guys know this will be the first of the videos that goes out this week. I will be doing one on the French TD that was recently introduced during Bastille Day in the middle of July, and I'll be doing one on the M1A1 M60A3 hybrid. I've got some footage of that which I took today, so it's just a matter of editing that one together. And so that will be 3 videos that I will try and get out to you guys over the course of this week. And again, my sincere apologies for being gone. I am surprised that I still have any subscribers left. And I haven't been able to do any live playing. I was hoping this enemy tank here would slip out. He's not going to. He's just going to, I guess it's a Merkava. He's just going to hang back there and get pummeled by 2 different sides and die pretty quick. So I thought I'd get over here and see if there was anybody else I could shoot at, and before I can, that's going to be pretty much the end of this fight. So, I haven't been able to do any streaming. I haven't been able to play with Fiara. I haven't been able to play with anybody else, and I missed it. So I'm excited to be able to get back into doing a little more play and seeing what's been changed, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the nuances and Easter eggs and special things of the new patch. So anyway, here we are in this one. Not quite as much reputation, and did do quite as well. Only about 7,900 or whatever worth of damage there. Again, didn't miss very many shots. Missed a couple, but not very many. But it's just a matter of making sure that what you hit penetrates. And you know, again, the British guns do not pack the wallop, or in this case, the Swiss guns do not pack the wallop that the Russian guns or some of the TDs do. So you've got to make sure that what you really are aiming at, you are going to be able to penetrate, because if you don't, you're just wasting your shots. And since they don't have these massive damage rolls to, you know, 800, 900, 1,000 like the higher tier tanks do, you've really got to make sure that if you want to get good rolls, that you are in the front of the fight and that you are really doing your best to... if we take a look at the stats on this vehicle, I mean, you can see it's pretty average damage. It's relatively average, not fantastic penetration. I am using the magnetic actuator to improve my damage and aim time on this vehicle. You know, damage per minute's in the 4,000 range. The reload's in the high 7-second range. It's got decent amount of hit points. Again, the speed is not anything fantastic, but it's a, you know, it's a good vehicle. So I can't really, it doesn't do anything stand out, but it certainly doesn't do a lot shitty. So let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at this compared to the Challenger. Let's swing down there and pull up the Challenger. Come on, there we go. Pull up the details there. And you can see the difference between the Challenger, or almost the lack of difference between the Challenger and the Challenger 1 Falcon. So there's a penetration between the two vehicles and the damage between the two vehicles. The average damage on the Challenger 1 is a bit less, and the reload takes a little longer. You know, but the aim time is pretty close to the same. The speed is pretty much the same. The camouflage is, yeah, whatever. View range is a little bit different, but I mean, essentially it's this. They didn't do much, honestly, didn't do a whole lot by changing out the turret, except for the DPM and damage. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same vehicle. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do thank you for watching. I apologize for being gone so long. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to have one on the French, the new French 6-wheeled TD, as well as the M60 2000, or whatever the hell that thing's called. And I hope you enjoyed this. I have missed you guys. I apologize. I will get back to streaming and making more videos soon. This is Tanks from the Mammeries, playing Armored Warfare. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.